we'll start with the
By approaching Acharya, Guru, with obedience, questioning extensively, learn the Gyan with questions such as how did this bondage happen? How will liberation take place? What is knowledge? What is ignorance? In this manner, serving the Acharya, Guru, by listening to him with humility, that Guru, who is knower of Brahma, would be pleased and would impart his knowledge. This is to say that the knowledge imparted only by the person who has realized the truth is effective.
so we are trying to understand how do we obtain gyan, and one of the methods which has been mentioned here is that of going to a guru, and that guru should be somebody who's realized. Only then it is effectively transferred. Otherwise, you have to still go through the explorations and various other techniques which are embedded here in Gita. Right?
Uh, you said one of the methods. Uh, that doesn't say here. It seems to be the only method.
Because there's a certain sequence to things from yajna karmas, where also it was illustrated as to how you can get gyan by offering that atma which is tainted, or so to say, having certain attributes. Okay, so those are also methods, and therefore, in a sense, constantly being aware of that aspect that I am Atma and not that which has got the attributes.
So that you clarified
Yeah.
last time. Yeah. Now, a second is that the guru has to be knower of Brahma. Otherwise,
It will not be an effective transfer. Okay. So if we read some passages from some books, for example, autobiography of Yogi. So Yoganandji spent about 10 years, 15 years with his guru. And if you read that text, you'll realize that transfer took place without necessarily reading scriptures. Okay. So over a period of time, as the guru saw the shishya to become more and more capable, yeah, so those processes are also available. Maheshi Lahiri ji transfers that, so it's there part of them. We'll go to 435. Any other question for the moment? Yeah. Hence, it is right to say that on obtaining the knowledge imparted by them, you will not remain in delusion the way you have been now. This is being addressed to Arjuna. And through this knowledge, you will realize that all these beings and matter materials are in me, which is your inner self, what you are perceiving outside. And you will also see them, all these matter beings, etc., in me, which is Vasudev. That is, you will realize they are also in the Supreme Ishwar. Meaning, you will directly realize the unity of self and Ishwar, as given in the Upanishads. That is the ultimate knowledge. That everything is in me, everything is in the Ishwar. Ishwar and me is the same. Any other knowledge is partial. Unity of the self and the ultimate. The self being the Atma in this case. Atma and Paramatma being same. Which we have already been saying so. Should we move to the next shloka?
This knowledge is such that even if you are the worst sinner among sinners, you would cross the ocean of sins using the boat of this knowledge, meaning all your sins would be destroyed.
So, on attaining this knowledge, you are able to cross that ocean of all sins. All various aspects of karmas get. Let's read the next shloka. Yes, you want to read, please?
Just as well, lit fire destroys the fuel in the form of wood, in the same way, the fire of knowledge burns all actions to ashes. Meaning, these karmas lose their ability to produce further karmas.
Yeah.
This body has taken form due to past karmas. These karmas are intent on giving outcomes or fruits. The body has to live through the experience of their outcomes. This is logical.
Yeah, just hold there for a minute. So the karmas lose their ability to produce further karmas. Okay, and we already understood that person who has realized, who has already dissolved or destroyed all other actions, issues like sin and everything else in the fire of knowledge, no karmas can now be produced. Okay, because he is realized, he has become a karma. His karmas are all a karma. However, the body which has already taken form, and how is this body taken form? It is taken form due to past karmas. And those karmas which are already in motion have produced this body. Okay, and that's the next statement which is being mentioned here. This body has to live through the experience of the outcomes of those karmas which have come together to form this body. Okay, past karmas. This is logical because this has also been mentioned earlier. Yeah, please.
But is this logical that you this incarnation is result of the past karmas, but the bad karmas you do with this, you wash away with knowledge, meaning then there's no incentive to do the right thing before knowledge.
How will you arrive at at the ultimate knowledge?
Or you're saying that's because you do the right karma.
Absolutely.
So okay. But here it is. Instead of saying do the right karma that will take you towards the knowledge, it is saying even if you don't do the right karmas, the knowledge will wash it away. So it's saying in a very
Yeah.
negative
So,
way.
so let us understand that there are various ways of realizing the ultimate. Okay, karma is one of them. Okay, so you are at this moment limiting yourself to only the karmas producing the outcomes which will lead to the final knowledge. Okay, so we'll take this up a little later as well. Yeah. Hmm.
Hence, karmas done in this birth before obtaining realization, in those karmas performed either along with realization or through those performed in the past many births, karmas which have not yet sprouted to perform actions. Such karmas are burnt by this fire of knowledge, not those which have already sprung into action.
Okay. So now let's understand this also. There are karmas which are before the birth. Okay. And then there are karmas which are being performed as we are going along today. And even on the path of realization, there may be some karmas which we'll be performing in any case till the time we don't have the final realization. All these karmas are consequence of certain actions which have come into existence, have sprouted. Okay, these are karmas which are now prarabdha karmas. The ones which have sprouted are the prarabdha karmas. Those which have not sprouted are the sanchit karmas, which are seed, not taken seed, not taken to become a sapling. Okay. Now let's take an example to illustrate this. There is a quiver of arrows which I'm carrying, like Arjun is carrying, and I take the arrow out, string it in the bow, and let it go. Once it is left the bow, there is no way it can come back. Right? That is what these karmas are. Once they have left the the string of the bow, they cannot come back to the quiver. Till that time, they can be put back in the quiver. All techniques can be applied. All what we can see in this text is really saying that. So once this body has come into existence, the past karmas which are there with the body are in existence. They will carry on. Okay, so they have to be destroyed by other techniques. Only those which have still not left the string of the bow, okay, are the ones which can be destroyed by this particular knowledge, which is Sanchit karmas. Is that clear?
Those which have not left, they are still with Arjun. These are
Sanchit karmas.
Sanchit karma.
Correct.
And those which have left the bow, they are Prarabdha karma.
Karma, correct. And they cannot be stopped. The outcomes of those cannot be stopped. That arrow which has been shot on the target, if it has to hit some opponent, it will go and hit that opponent.
So, meaning the life which we are living are consequence of Prarabdha karma.
Yes.
Of bad karmas, you mean?
Sorry?
Or is it?
Good or
Prarabdha.
bad?
Prarabdha.
Prarabdha.
No, the
Previous.
Previous.
Clear? Any questions on this?
This is referring to good karma and bad?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
all karma.
All karmas.
So even the good karma will get destroyed.
Yes, yes. Those which have not manifested themselves will not give us any consequences, whether they are good or bad. Next sloka.
There is nothing comparable to Gyan, knowledge, which purifies. The seeker who has purified himself either through Karma Yoga or Samadhi Yoga, yoga of concentration, over many periods of time, finds that knowledge in his own self, meaning he realizes himself.
So it's being categorically said that either through Karma Yoga or through Samadhi Yoga, and there'll be further later on Bhakti Yoga, okay? So various such yoga techniques which are there, a person realizes, and he realizes what? He realizes that knowledge resides within himself.
Sorry, what did you say?
The knowledge resides within yourself. Okay, in his own self, finds that knowledge is in his own self, which is meaning he realizes himself. This knowledge is not somewhere else, it is right within, and therefore he realizes that himself.
Karma Yoga and Samadhi Yoga are two different paths, or they converge somewhere?
They will converge at the end, of course. In the middle, also, starting points, there will be some convergence, and some paths will merge with Bhakti Yoga. So we'll see all that. Essentially, there are two different paths. Essentially, okay, Karma Yoga is for people who are ignorant like us, and Samadhi Yoga is for people who are more in the sannyas area. Okay. So two separate points to start with. The karma could be there, but the karma is not there in the sannyasi. He is already a karmi. So look at 439. Somebody can read that.
The person who has faith, Shraddha, obtains knowledge. If a person of faith but is slow in his effort, then the person needs to apply himself devotedly, enthusiastically, on the practices like serving the Guru required for obtaining Gyan. If the person is having faith and also serves with enthusiasm, but does not have his sense in his control, okay, yes?
Senses in his control.
Senses in his control.
Sanyat Indriya.
Sanyat
Sanyate
Indriya.
Indriya.
Hence, he is required to be in control of his senses too.
Yeah. So we have three different aspects which are being focused upon in this particular shloka, which lead to knowledge. Okay. The first one being Shraddha. You should have faith in the path. Okay. And then you should be serving the Guru with devotion. Tatparta is the word which is there. We'll probably see it later on, or maybe it is missed out. And third one is the word which is Sanyatendriya, which is Sanyam, Indriyon ka Sanyam, okay, which is control of the senses.
He who, in this manner, is having deep faith, devoted, and in control of his senses, he will surely obtain jnana or knowledge. People can be misled by performing actions such as procrastination, etc.
Such as prostration.
Prostration.
Yeah.
Prostration okay, over?
Means basically you are lying down and
Prostration.
ha,
Okay.
saying, I bow to you, Dandvat Pranam is what it is, okay?
People can be misled by performing actions such as prostration, etc., which are external and they may not always lead to jnana. But the above methods of having faith, etc., a person cannot fool. Hence, these are confirmed methods of realization.
Okay.
What will happen on obtaining jnana? A person will immediately realize supreme peace of liberation, meaning he swiftly goes beyond attachment of his senses. Through correct jnana, a person is immediately liberated. This has been confirmed by all shastras and logic.
Any question?
So, the earlier one talked about the means of gaining jnana is to find a realized person and acknowledge that person as your guru or persons. But how do you distinguish between who is a realized person and who is not? Because you want the right kind of jnana. How does that?
So you find out by understanding from people around whether he is a realized person or no, and whether it is making sense for you when he is talking and sharing gyan. So if you're not able to follow him, then he is not your guru. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. You may still be able to follow somebody because you like what the person is saying or you resonate with that. But that person may not actually be realized and may be taking you up.
Yeah. So you need to understand through the words or the things he's talking about whether he's actually a realized person or no.
If I knew that, then
And
already half the way
no.
to realization.
And if you don't know, then you have to find it out from other people. Okay, and you will find that that person, when he is, a lot of people will find that his presence will help them to realize some things which they have come to, without necessarily any action being taken. You will find that he is uh, deeply enough read for you to understand how that path opens up clearly. So sometimes it may be a struggle. You may have to spend time with the person to figure out whether he is your guru or not.
Can you give an example of a realized person in real life?
We have so many people, right? From Ramakrishna, yeah, Aurobindo,
No, I mean someone
Ramana.
who's living now.
Hmm?
Someone who's living now. Sadhguru.
No.
I don't know about Sadhguru so far, but my guru, for example, yes. And there are other people like that.
Premanandji Maharaj of Vrindavan.
I've heard of him also. Yeah.
Maybe Matanand may.
People say that also.
There's this Gaurang Prabhu in ISKCON.
I'm not sure about that.
Called Gopal Das.
Gopal Das Gaurang Prabhu.
Yeah, now Gopal Das Gaur and Sarvapriyananda and all, right? People who are extensively
Bhagwad Gita.
preaching on this thing, they are You must listen to them and figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no harm. There is no harm.
Yeah, we do listen to them.
But you have to figure out whether they are talking with that particular understanding or no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's got to be done. You have to also see as to whether it sort of resonates with you, both things. I'm sure they are. I'm not saying they are not, but I'm not able to say with conviction what they're saying is necessarily accurate enough. Sorry? You saying something?
No, I wasn't asking a question. I'm making a comment that earlier also we mentioned, here also it appears about the prostration, that there is no importance given to rituals, right? And the second is we're talking about a realized person. Unfortunately, million times more unrealized gurus are around. So the question is valid: how to find?
Absolutely right.
A liberated person and a realized person is the
Yeah, meaning is same. It's also true that the guru finds you. Okay, so it's not that you alone have to go and search for him. If you are working on something and you have been trying to figure it out, then some guru will come and find you.
Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Hmm?
Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
I'm sure he's also a realized person. I don't know too much.
Now that
We
we
will
have-
understand more of this if you go back to chapter 2. Those people who are Gyan-nisht, those who are established in the Gyan, what are their characteristics?
Yes. So
Yes.
We are reading now.
Yes, so you have to go back and check
and,
what are the characteristics, attributes of the person who's realized. Lakshan kya hai unke? Go back and check it out and you will see whether these people are mapping up to that particular definitions or set of things already spoken and given by Krishna. Okay, and there'll be more such things which will be offered in Gita in various parts, so you can pick them up also.
Do you really need a guru?
There is
There's-
one way which is offered, which can happen through a guru, and there are other ways also.
Yeah, like there are these holy books. You can just read them, follow them.
You may not be able to follow them. You may be able to follow them. You may not be able to.
Ramakrishna Paramahansa, did he have any guru?
Yes, yes,
Totapuri.
yes. Even the most realized person, so people who sort of got their realization at the age of 6 and 4 and 10 and 12, always adopted a guru. Yes, also. Okay. They adopted, he went to, Shankaracharya went to a guru at the age of 6.
But Guru Nanak didn't.
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
Guru
can't
Nanak,
comment.
He was just like on his own. He started preaching and.
Yeah, so he
God
must
came
have.
to him.
So these people are also there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of.
They're carrying the knowledge from their previous birth.
Right.
So this yoga of concentration, like what is
Samadhi Yoga.
like what?
We'll study that.
So
Next chapter.
My interpretation is that you can learn physics or engineering by studying the books, but you have a teacher who will explain it to you better.
That is true. And in this case, there is the next stage also. Depending on what is your ability, he may be able to transfer a lot more. Are you getting it, Manu? Let me give a live example, okay? We read this text first time. We'll understand a certain amount. When you read it a second time, you will understand something more. If you read it with a teacher, he'll add certain things to it, and certain concepts will become clear very rapidly. Then you read it again, you will find a different meaning. You'll discover something more. Now, what is happening? Actually, you are changing. The book is saying the same set of words, but what is happening within you is the ability to grasp what has been given in the text or given by somebody else who is speaking. You are able to correlate various facets of it, and not facets of it with the text to text, but facets of it with your own internal self. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
And that is the purpose of reading this, and maybe reading it multiple times and reading it with the right guru. All these things start making a difference. Now, it is not as if the guru has suddenly transferred something magical to you. It is just that your readiness is such that it appears like magic.
Sir, Guru himself तत्व ज्ञानी होना चाहिए, ज्ञानी होना चाहिए, और वेदों वगैरह का पढ़ा होना चाहिए, और ये भी कहा है कि अगर हम उसके पास जाके रहें तो हम ज़्यादा नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हैं. वो आप में विशेष भाव देख सकता है और अकॉर्डिंगली आपको गाइड कर सकता है, और उसके पास जाके रहने से ज़्यादा लाभदायक होता है. निश्चित के आप उससे दूर रहें. और उसके साथ साथ ये भी है कि आप पढ़ते तो आपने 10 पॉइंट पढ़े हैं कि ज्ञानी बनने के लिए ये मुझे विवेक चाहिए, मुझे विरक्त चाहिए, मुझे 8 पॉइंट ये चाहिए. अब ये है कि आपने उन 10 पॉइंट में से अपनी लाइफ में कितने प्रैक्टिस किए हैं. एंड इफ यू फाइंड I find myself to be pretty hollow when I examine myself against those 10 points. And I need to practice more and more and more to come there to realize that ज्ञान जिसके बाद मुझे थोड़ा तत्व ज्ञान की तरफ झांक सकूँ.
ठीक है. So we look at shloka number 40. Can somebody read that?
He who is ignorant is without the knowledge of Atma, Atmagyan. He who is without faith, Ashadhalu, in Shastras, and has a mind which doubts, Sanchatma. All these three perish. Though the ignorant and persons without faith perish, but the person who doubts is the worst sinner. How? The person who doubts, Sanchay, does not get the normal world, nor does he get heaven, nor happiness, because in happiness also his mind may doubt. Hence, one should not doubt.
So carrying a doubt in your mind is always causing bigger problems, which we understand. And that's what's being mentioned in this particular shloka. And we'll see the impact of it as we read the next shloka. Okay? Yeah.
But the whole point of having a mind is to explore, to understand, to critique, and therefore to have doubts.
And one of the shlokas earlier also says, you must learn by questioning.
Questioning is different from?
Doubt is shak.
Yeah. Okay, questioning is different from, inquiry is different from doubt. Inquiry can happen because of doubt. Inquiry can happen just to inquire and figure it out. Not with doubt. It could be with surrender as well, Shraddha as well. Yeah?
So here doubt is implied as Sanchaya for dharma and self-realization. Is
Yeah.
doubt very specific?
Yeah. We'll read that in 41. Shloka number 41.
So what does he mean? The person who doubts does not get the normal world.
Yeah, just for example, suppose you doubt the situation you are in whilst you're happy. You're doubting whether I'm actually, this is going to sustain or not. Then your happiness also goes away.
Normal world means
This is the normal world.
normal life.
Normal life. I doubt a situation which I am in. Suppose it is a happy situation, then that happiness also goes away. In normal life, right? फिर ये दिमाग घूमता है कि अच्छा ये क्या हो रहा है, अभी तो ये अच्छा लग रहा है, बाद में अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, अच्छा किसी ने ये बोल दिया तो क्या होगा, अभी तो मैं अच्छा लग रहा हूँ, अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, बाद में किसी ने बीच में प्रॉब्लम खड़ी कर दी तो क्या होगा. All these things happen, no? So that moment also becomes a moment of doubt rather than the moment of peace or happiness. Yeah? That's what's being mentioned here.
So can a guru transfer his knowledge without speaking to his disciples?
I will say yes.
Because it says Lord Krishna transferred, this to Arjuna, not in words.
Well, I don't know about that, so I'm not commenting on that. Okay, we'll go to the next shloka. Okay, we'll not get to these points. Haji.
This heaven, is there something really existing, or heaven is in this world only? Maximum it is the life of a rich person.
So, nor does he get heaven is essentially the place which is supposed to be place of happiness and quietude and peace. That's what's being mentioned here. Now, we can go into a separate discussion and how it exists and how it does not exist.
This word heaven is used here.
Yeah, I have kept the
I
word.
think the confusion is heaven a physical place or is it a state of mind?
Well, at this moment, I'm saying keep it both. Okay, because otherwise we'll have a little discussion and I'll have to take you into a different book or something. Okay. We go to 41. Somebody can read that.
He who has realized the ultimate has renounced all sinful and pious actions through the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. He who knows the oneness of Atma and Ishwar, all his doubts are destroyed.
Yeah. So here the statement is coming the other way around. Okay. So if you have been able to realize the ultimate, all your sins are also washed away, and also all your doubts are destroyed. And this is talking about the dhyatma or the aspect which is pertaining to realization. Okay. And we'll try and understand what he's saying by this statement when we read the next few lines.
Hence, this realized person, should I read?
Let's finish this shloka. You will probably get some answers, huh? Otherwise, I'll take your question, Rahul.
Hence, this realized person, through the strength of the understanding that these actions are only through the efforts of the gunas, he is not bound to the outcome, whether good or bad. Since the practitioner of Karma Yoga, through the removal of impurities in the inner self, attains the self-knowledge within bracket Atam Gyan, which leads to the removal of all doubts. Such a person, through the fire of knowledge, destroys all karmas, and the one who doubts the practice of Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga, he perishes.
Okay. So this is one context in which the doubt aspect of doubt has been applied. So pursue the Karma Yoga practices which have been spoken of in chapter 2 and 3, and Gyan Yoga practices which have been shown here, and further they'll also be shown. So follow those practices and you will get to self knowledge, self realization without doubt. That's what's being said. Okay?
So what does he mean by perishes?
Perishes means that his mind is not going to be able to pursue this particular facet, and he will remain in the cycle of birth and death, and therefore, in a sense, perishes. Destroyed.
He's coming back, so
Destroyed in the sense the mind is not going to be able to focus on a subject like this. It will be doing everything else. And therefore, as per this text, it is destroyed. Yeah?
So he's saying that I get knowledge. Knowledge leads to self-realization. And self-realization implies that there will be no doubts. But if I don't get knowledge, I will have doubts. So if I don't get knowledge, I will perish because I will have doubts. So till I get to
Knowledge. I have
I am
to.
perishable.
Yes, you are. So you have to pursue the path of Karma Yoga, okay, and Gyan Yoga after that, without having any doubt in your mind.
No, but the doubts will only go when I have got knowledge, as per this.
I'm saying pursue that path. Don't. We're not looking at the doubt which you have in the knowledge. There's a doubt in the knowledge, and there is a doubt in the path. I'm segregating the two. Okay. Are you getting that?
Seeking knowledge, curiosity, and doubt is disbelief.
Doubt is not necessarily disbelief, but it is
So
not.
in this case, you doubt it, you don't believe in it. I'm sorry, I'm interpreting it differently.
No. Let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait now. I have said something, and let's move and see what is happening in the next shloka and the explanation later on. Okay. So some facets I have covered on this. Maybe something more may need to be added. Okay. So how do you get? How do you remove this doubt? Is what is the next shloka talking about? Okay. Therefore, using this sword of knowledge, destroy this sinful doubt in the inner self, born in your mind due to ignorance and lack of vivek. So this sinful doubt is born of lack of vivek and ignorance. Okay. To destroy this delusion and sorrow, use the sword of ultimate jnana or knowledge and perform karma yoga. What is the sword of ultimate jnana or knowledge? Knowledge of self is the sword, and doubt has the self for its object. None may slay another's doubt. He who doubts about the self is the slayer thereof. Okay. So let's read the explanation and we'll come back to what has been written in these few lines. Okay, these are little complex lines, and we'll try and understand these lines through the explanation and come back to these lines again. One is avivek. What is avivek? Is about trying to understand something with the wrong tool. Okay. Suppose I was to put a question across that I want to understand. I'm going to keep my eyes shut and I'm going to try and understand the rising sun through my nose. Can I recognize the rising sun through my nose? So a wrong tool has been applied to understand what is sun. Right? Just stay with this for a moment. This is a Vivek. A Vivek is about trying to understand something with the wrong tool. Have we understood this little part? सेंस को मैं समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं अपनी 5 इंद्रियों के द्वारा, बिकॉज ये 5 इंद्रियों से ही मैं कुछ समझ सकता हूं. When it is not the subject of these senses, ये जो आत्मा है ये 5 इंद्रियों से समझी नहीं जा सकती. ठीक है, तो मैं 5 इंद्रियों से उस आत्मा को समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, जिस तरह से मैं अपनी नाक से सूर्य को समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, उसी को केवल अविवेक बोलते हैं. ठीक है. लैक ऑफ दिस नॉलेज लीड्स टू डाउट. क्योंकि ये 5 इंद्रियां जो हैं उसको समझ नहीं सकती हैं, तो मन में डाउट होगा ही. क्यों होगा? क्योंकि वो 5 इंद्रियां केपेबल ही नहीं है उसको समझने के लिए, और मैं जानता हूं कि ये खाली 5 ही इंद्रियां हैं जिससे मैं समझ सकता हूं. ठीक है, तो वो डाउट उत्पन्न होगा ही. ठीक है, लेट्स गो फॉरवर्ड. This doubt can only be removed by knowledge, which can be realized through विचार. तो एक ही उसकी टेक्निक है, हमें अपने विचार से उसको समझने की कोशिश करनी है. थॉट, थिंकिंग, विचार. विचार is a little bigger, has got many contexts to it. We will be exploring some of this later on, but vichar is the only way by which we can understand or realize ourselves. It's not these 5 senses. And that's why there was somebody who said my mind can actually, so mind has a certain capability to be able to do this vichar, which is focusing on that which is Atma. Okay, which is part of our inner self. Okay, vichar divides prama. Okay, that which has to be known. Vichar divides prama into 2 categories. One which is known through the senses, and the other Brahman which is knowable through Shruti or Shastras. Now, we talk about purification. This mind has a tendency to follow the senses all the time. It cannot remain focused on what is being said in the Shruti, in the text. How do you get this mind to move away from these senses and not get attracted to what the senses are following, and make it focused only on what is being said in the Shruti, in the text? Okay. Then only your doubt can be removed, because then only the realization will happen. The doubt will remain all the time. That doubt which we are talking about, Rahul, which is pertaining to the 5 senses related aspect, is not the doubt which we are pursuing. This doubt is about the fact that we are not able to visualize and understand that Atma, and therefore we doubt that existence of the ultimate Atma.
If I can see it, if I can smell it, if I can taste it, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. And everybody who has struggled through this chapter number 2 has struggled only to this, because somebody is talking about Atma. And I can't relate to it because my 5 senses can never relate to it. Now, when we sit down and spend time on it, slowly we start figuring out. As we will go through this Gita, he is going to take you through it to understand deeper and deeper, to understand that Atma, how does it really exist? Otherwise, the doubt will remain. It's a natural phenomena, because doubt is a phenomena of the 5 senses in the mind. This mind is separate. This mind which is looking at the vichar is a separate aspect. Are you getting it now? We'll read further. We'll come back to the sentences in the shloka. Okay? Right? We have time? Yes. We are ignorant about our own Atma.
10 minutes.
It is ignorance about the subject of our real self. And this ignorance is in us only. कहाँ पे है ये ignorance? बाहर नहीं है, हमारे में ही है. Atma is knower and cannot have the same rules as those for the known. जो चीजें हमें known, जो हमें समझ में आती हैं, which are visible, understandable, they are known. And we always have Atma to be the knower. The rules for understanding the known are different from the rules which are applied to understand the knower. देखिए हम वहाँ क्षेत्रज्ञ की बात पे पहुंच रहे हैं, but I'm sorry I have to bring that here because I could have skipped this shloka, but I said let me sort of confront it right here and try and get that explanation through. Okay? This will be again explained in chapter 13 and other chapters also. Okay? That object which can be known by direct perception or inference, which is visible, understood. Okay, you can change these words: inference, understood, perception, visible. So all those objects which can be known are only perceived by our senses. They can only be understood because of certain inference which we make out of our own perceptions. Right? Only when it can be seen, it becomes the basis of direct perception. The rules of the seen do not apply on the seer. Okay? Since I am the Paramatma, Bhagwan says, this doubt is about me as well. You will doubt me as well because you can't see me. Right? However, let's read further. One person's doubt cannot be removed by another person. I cannot remove your doubt. You have to remove your doubt by your own perception.
Can we spend a minute on the previous paragraph?
Yes, please.
So, the senses are part of this world. The Atma is beyond this world. So, what belongs to this world is not really empowered to see beyond. So, to even consider or think about using the senses which belong to this world to perceive or understand the Atma is a non-starter.
You're right.
Yeah.
However, we are not using that logic.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just trying.
Why we are not using that logic? We will understand that also later on.
Fair enough, but I was just trying.
Yeah, you are right. You're right. Absolutely right. How can something which is beyond be understood by that which is not, which is only able to understand what is not beyond? Yeah. Because that which is not beyond.
It is here and there.
It's within us.
It is right here. Okay. One person's doubt cannot be removed by another person. Okay, so you have to remove your own doubt. Your own doubt can only be removed by you. If this doubt is visible, then there could be some way. If it is visible, मतलब सामने दिखता है, पांचों senses से दिखता है, समझ में आता है, तो it is a possibility that you can remove it. Because वो कहोगे ये कुर्सी नहीं है, ये चेयर है, चेयर नहीं है, तो ये टेबल है, वो you can remove that doubt, okay? But this doubt is about the subject, which is the knower itself. But this doubt is, where am I? Knower itself. Hence, it has to be removed by the knower himself. आत्मा को अपने आप ही उस डाउट को रिमूव करना है. How? We'll understand that. Okay. Who is Ishwar may still be determined with help from someone. ईश्वर कौन है हम किसी की हेल्प लेकर तभी भी पता लगा सकते हैं. But who am I? That doubt has to be removed by me alone. Okay, so it's a journey which you will start figuring out as you travel. How do I figure out who I am? So, at a surface level, who I am can be answered, but as you go along only, till you don't realize that answer to who I am will not happen. Bhagwan is telling Arjun that this doubt is the cause of self destruction, which is destroyed by thought. So, this doubt, which is the cause of self destruction, this can be destroyed by thought vichar. This vichar is the method to realize the ultimate, meaning you practice actions like performing daily, which is nitya karma, prescribed naimittik karmas. We understand nitya karma and naimittik karma, right? Naimittik is prescribed karmas, nitya karmas are daily karmas, and practice or adopt actions right from yoga abhyas to the ultimate. I'll just expand this a bit, okay? Adopt actions from where? From yoga abhyas. Okay, so we have uh, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam. Okay, all yam, niyam are all actions which have been prescribed. Okay, asan, pranayam are all actions which are prescribed. We know about Ashtanga Yoga, right? These are the 8 parts. 4 are these, and 4 are Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Right? Is it okay? Or should I explain these, each of them?
Nice if you can explain each.
Okay. Okay, yam is that which is withdrawal of your senses. Niyam is to follow the disciplines. Yam, niyam. Okay, asana is supposed to be the next step which you perform in terms of dedicating your body and mind, aligning it to be able to have a union with the ultimate. That's why it's called yoga. Body mind is the practice which you do in asana. In pranayam, you are aligning the breath. And if you follow the yajna karmas, then you are actually dissolving certain types of breath in other types of breath. That's pranayam, right? Kumbhak pranayam, we also heard that. Okay, so all those are techniques which are available. Okay, and then pratyar happens, which is withdrawal of your own desires from this world happens. It is not something which can be practiced. It is not something which you can act upon. Pratyahar is supposed to happen after you have been able to successfully imbibe the first 4 stages of Ashtanga Yoga. And then you practice dharana, dhyan, and then you practice samadhi for the ultimate realization. So, all these actions which are pertaining to yoga abhyas, to the ultimate practices of shravanam and mananam and nididhyasanam. Okay, I have not mentioned nididhyasanam because they are even more advanced. Shravanam is simple of listening and understanding and rereading, re-listening. Shravanam is listening. Shravan karna is to listen. Mananam is to apply logic and meditate, concentrate, figure it out in your mind, and use various texts to do mananam. Okay, it's also part of it is also meditation, concentration practices. Okay, and then you evolve yourself to being able to do nididhyasanam. Okay, Nididhyasanam are 15 aspects of Nididhyasan, and when we do Aparokshanubhuti, we will be covering those 15 aspects also. Okay, right? So these are the aspects which are to be adopted as the actions to be pursued, apart from the actions of Nitya Karma and Naimittik Karma. Okay. You have the practice of dharma available to you right now. Krishna is telling Arjuna, to fight a war is your dharma and karma. Only when you fight this war, your inner self will be purified and you will attain the ultimate knowledge. This is what the last shloka, which is 442, trying to say. This knowledge of self is the sword. You try and understand that there is a self which is Atma, which has got certain attributes which have been given to you in the chapters preceding this chapter. Doubt has the self for its object. Okay, what is the doubt you have about? It is the doubt about this self. ये आत्मा क्या है? इसी का doubt है. Am I right? I'm reading it from here only. I'm explaining those words. You look at the sentence which is there, 442 mein. Knowledge, slide number 6. Knowledge of self is the sword, and doubt has the self for its object. Okay? डाउट का ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है? आत्मा. ठीक है, उसी के बारे में एक डाउट है. None may slay another's doubt, which we have understood. Okay, it cannot be destroyed by anybody else. He who doubts about the self is the slayer thereof. उसका slayer कौन है? जो डाउट कर रहा है वही उसका स्लेयर है, वही उसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकता है. The one who is the knower has to destroy that which is that doubt about the knower.
What is slayer and who is slaying?
Slayer is same thing as person who is destroying. The word slayer has been picked up from Dr. Warrior's book. Okay, I had no other option because it was giving the thing very succinctly. Yeah. Yeah, please.
We're confused about
Please tell me.
There is no concept that we cannot slay ourselves or anything of that kind.
The
So what,
knower will slay the doubt
doubt.
about.
I was getting so confused with this.
Right, no problem.
There is that phrase, like killing the doubt.
Yeah.
You're killing the doubt.
So slaying
You're
is
slaying
it's
the
a
doubt.
doubt. which
Slaying the
is-
doubt.
Okay.
Not the self, not the
Correct.
The self is killing the doubt.
Yeah. The knower itself is going to kill the doubt.
And the very fact that it is able to do so makes that person a knower.
Correct.
The word that is used is knower.
Correct.
You are a knower because you are able to slay the doubt.
Correct. Correct. Now we can have all the questions. So to attain Gyan, apart from going to the Guru, we also understood that there is certain set of practices which are in the nature of vichar. And those practices in the nature of vichar can only emerge if we are able to practice our karma yoga. And the karma yoga which we have to practice consists of what is karma yoga? Performing actions without attachment to the outcomes. Okay? Or dedicating that action to Ishwar. Or doing it for the welfare of humanity. That's karma yoga. Everything else is not karma yoga. So if we are able to perform that karma yoga as what has been given to Arjuna as well, then he is able to purify himself and move on to performing that vichar, which will help him to bring his mind to that point where the mind sees only that which is Atma and not get distracted by the mind following the senses. That aspect of the mind which follows the senses will not be able to focus on that which is Atma.
How do you do this in your normal routine?
So there are some things which you do, and then there are some things which happen. When you practice Karma Yoga,
We are practicing Karma Yoga every day, doing the daily.
No, that's not.
That's not Karma Yoga.
when you practice Karma Yoga, slowly you will find that these things will arise. And that's what he's saying. Just like I told you that in the Ashtanga Yoga, you can practice asana, you can practice pranayama. Pratyahar will not happen till you are not doing it properly.
As long as you are attached to the outcome of your daily activity,
That's not karma.
it is not karma.
It's not karma.
So whether somebody put salt in your food or not, going back to an example we discussed sessions ago, if that outcome is still an issue, then it is not karma.
Maybe you have to explain that a little more. Now that you have offered to do so.
I think it was just something that I think came up in the discussion.
I know we had discussed it last time, but you can maybe explain it to her a little more.
All I'm trying to say is that as long as one is concerned about the fact that whether it is let's take food. So is food tasty or not tasty? It's an outcome in which I have an interest. So as long as that attachment is there, then that process is not
Not karma.
I go for my daily walk, but if I'm more concerned whether I've burned 100 calories or 50 calories, I think there is an attachment because I'm looking at an outcome.
Yeah.
If I do not, and I just do my walk and I enjoy the scenery around me or the people around me and just leave it at that, I don't know. Maybe that's also an attachment, but how do I keep it neutral where I'm not concerned with?
But you said it's for the Ishwar or for the humanity, then it's.
Yeah, then it's
but
fine.
as long as we have, earlier before that you said asakti with karma itself
Yeah,
or with the outcome.
both.
Both, then it is not karma.
Okay, so where does this stand? If you're taking care of the house, taking care of your elderly, taking care of your kids, is this Karma Yoga? You're not
Let
wanting
me-
any outcome out of it, you know?
Let me
You're
ask.
just doing it like a
So let me ask a question. What is your intent?
intent is just to keep them safe, keep them healthy
So you are doing it for as a duty.
as a duty, yes.
So it's a kartavya karma. Okay,
But it is with good intentions.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that doesn't count.
No, it counts. The next step is that you offer that to, or you say that suppose something goes wrong in that. How will you be affected? If something goes right in it, how will you be affected?
I'll try my best not to.
Yeah. So if you're not affected by the outcome of that kartavya karma, you're not attached to the outcome of that particular karma.
No, I am attached. Like if I'm doing
Yeah.
something.
So now you're coming to it right.
Yeah,
now.
because
Exactly.
I don't want, like if I'm taking care of someone, I don't want them to
Fall ill. Fall ill for you.
yeah, but if they fall ill, like I'll accept it, you know. And I'll still take care.
Yeah.
And make them okay, you know.
So these are examples of things which you need to think through for yourself. The questions are there with you. The answers are also going to be with you. Questions are you going to be attached to the outcomes or not? And how will you know you're attached or not? If you're going to get angry, if you're going to feel sad, if you're going to feel happy, if you're going to feel you're jumping up and
You feel
down,
satisfied. That's the emotion you have.
if you are feeling just satisfied,
Satisfied.
satisfying itself is also a outcome. Okay. So slowly you say, don't start with kartavya karma. Okay, start with something different. Okay, you want to say that I am going to go and watch a movie. Simple thing. And you land up there are no tickets, or the hall today has decided to shut down, or there's something else happening and I won't be able to watch it. So what will you feel? Quite sad. You came out all the way and you were
Disappointed.
disappointed. Okay. Now how do you convert that into something which is not disappointment?
Do something that will make you happy.
Yeah, that's again, if you are looking at happiness as the outcome.
Mhm. That's why you've come out. You wanted to say
No,
a
no,
movie.
no.
They should be like in equilibrium in opposites.
Opposites
Yes.
only.
Yes.
So we have had these two chapters which you have possibly missed. Okay, so you'll have to go through steadily. Maybe maybe you'll take her through it, or
I
I'll
told
help.
her there's a continuity.
Huh.
So
Somebody can help out also.
Yeah,
There are people from our earlier batches who can help out also. So you can get all those questions answered and it will start falling into place slowly. Any other question from anybody?
So in chapter 2, we said Atma was Nishkriya, and then there is the concept of Naishkarmya, and now we are learning Akaram. So are these synonymous terms? Is there any difference
Nishka,
in state of Naishkarmya Sannyas? I mean, there was a term like that.
So first is, let's look at Nishkam Karma. That's what's being referred to. Okay, the karma which is being performed without any desire. Calm, desire, simple. Okay, without any desire. Nishkam karma. That is same as a karma? No.
Asakti Rahit Karma. Nishkam is same.
More like asakti rahit karma.
It's like
Okay, a karma is something which is only in the state of realization. Now, where are we reading Nishkar? Where did we read?
There was Nishkriya.
Nishkriya is the word that Atma is without any action. Nishkriya, without any kriya.
And Nishkriya, I was getting to.
Nishkriya is it has got no ability to act. तो कर्म हो ही नहीं सकता. There was one more word you had used. Nishkarmya is same as Nishkriya.
And Akaram is a state one
where
which is,
a realized person is performing action, but actually it is non-action.
yeah, we discussed karma.
Yeah, correct. That's shloka number 18 of chapter 4, right? 18, 19. If you want to just read again. Any other question? So we'll summarize next time. We'll also have a discussion on this subject again. Please come back with your questions. We'll keep enough time for all questions on this particular subject, on not only this chapter, but whatever, if required, has been read so far till chapter 4 end. Okay? Thank you.